First tonight, the Adelaide doctor convicted of multiple sex offences involving his patients still practising in our suburbs. Consumer advocates say patients, particularly the elderly, may not even know about his criminal past. Hendrik has our investigation.
I believe there's about 260,000 people living in residential aged care across Australia. There were 513 unlawful sexual contact reports made in the last financial year. So we also know that sexual assault occurs in residential aged care.
If you live in an aged care facility or have family there, health is a primary concern. Our investigation shows that this doctor, convicted of sex offences with his patients, is only allowed to see patients under strict conditions, but he can still treat nursing home residents without restrictions. When he works in this suburban clinic treating female patients, the law says he must have a chaperone at all times. The chaperone restriction does not apply here.
They're unable to generally care for themselves and are vulnerable to abuse, exploitation.
Have you told your patients that you need a chaperone?
They potentially wouldn't know, which is once again unacceptable.
The year is 2003. This man, suburban Adelaide doctor Mario Athenadorou, is hauled before the tribunal which is required to enforce the ethical conduct of medical practitioners. The tribunal issues him a warning. It finds this doctor's behaviour, hugging and kissing a non-consenting female patient, inappropriate.
We're from Channel 7. We'd like to ask you some questions about your practice.
Sorry, mate. I'm instructed not to talk to the media for the time being.
A decade and a half later, 2016, he admits exploiting female patients here at this North Haven Medical Services Clinic and sexually assaulting them. He kissed, inappropriately touched, groped, made to undress. Victims cannot be named for legal reasons. Some were teenagers and relatives who gave evidence behind a screen or via video link. 3 victims, one of whom he'd treated as a child, gave emotional impact statements. One spoke of her disgust and feeling of guilt, another of being afraid of talking to most people.
The anxiety I feel as a result causes me constant pain and I get traumatic nightmares.
The 3rd victim suffers panic attacks, feels dirty, betrayed, depressed, unhappy and embarrassed. 10 female patients exploited over 15 years. The Medical Board of Australia alleges intimate gynecological examinations without permission or clinical justification.
If you live around here and are searching for a new doctor, you might look up the internet's health engine, and there you'd find that he advertises himself as having a degree from the University of Adelaide and a diploma in obstetrics and gynecology. If you're a woman, that may be just what you're looking for.
Here's the Health Practitioners Tribunal order, which subsequently reinstated the doctor's registration on strict conditions. Here is his promise to display a sign in every medical clinic at which he practices, and the sign should say, Dr. Athenadorou has a nurse or chaperone present for consultations. We saw no such sign when we came in here and went to reception.
I think there is a further question to be asked, which is around, is it acceptable that this practitioner should be working at all?
Carol Ann Barkler, Chief Executive of the Aged Rights Advocacy Service, is in Brisbane at a conference dealing with aged care abuse.
Only yesterday, at the National Elder Abuse Conference, did we hear from a 94-year-old woman who had been sexually assaulted.
While there's no suggestion of improper conduct towards nursing home residents by the doctor, Ms Barkler says the elderly deserve the same protection as other patients.
Older people with dementia are quite often not believed when they report, something has happened. So they are vulnerable to exploitation because they will not be believed if they speak out about something.
We tracked Dr. Athinadoro to this clinic at Playford.
My name is Hendrik. I'm a reporter with Channel 7. We'd like to ask you about some of the practices that you engage in.
He got in his car and drove off. We followed all the way to the Westwood Medical Centre in Angle Park, but he was just as unforthcoming at Westwood as he was at Playford.
Do you treat people in nursing homes or aged care facilities?
I treat any person that wishes to be treated by me.
What questions are your patients allowed to ask you?
You have yourself a good day. As I said, feel free to contact my lawyer if you want any further questions
Do you
answered.
tell your patients
Thank you.
about the
You have a good day.
restrictions?
Thank you. It's online, so they know about it.